live in a long time. But I seen that a woman in Kansas City shot and killed a firefighter, and she wasn't charged. So therefore, this is something that I need to address. Whoa. I need to address, talk about, build on, and hopefully can help to get some understanding, trying to get this phone set a good way so I can see myself. Now, Kansas City, never been to Kansas City, never been to Missouri, any part of Missouri. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at some of what was said and the analysis of it, and let's do a breakdown ourselves. It's something called Stand Your Ground law that protected the woman who shot the Kansas City firefighter. This is fair use. So as I'm looking and being able to bring some of this to your attention, you may hear some excerpts from the media. So I'm going to go there's several articles on it. So I'm going to click on one, go into the video. Because that's where I saw it from, a little bit of a video. Video brawl goes viral online. Kansas City woman receives no charges for the fatal shooting of a firefighter. I'm gonna say that again because I think I messed up. Video of brawl goes viral online as Kansas City woman receives no charges for the fatal shooting of firefighter. A video of a Kansas City firefighter being fatally shot by a woman on October 6, 2022 went viral after Jackson County prosecutors declined to pursue criminal charges against a suspect who acted in self-defense. Prosecutors in the case declined to press charges against the woman who shot and killed an off-duty Kansas City firefighter. His name was Anthony Santee, and he was 41 years old. She was reportedly trying to defend her 23-year-old boyfriend, who was held in a chokehold during a brawl that broke out outside an Independence gas station. After careful deliberation, prosecutors declared that the woman's actions met the criteria of Missouri's self-defense law. The said law mentions that an individual in Kansas is free to defend themselves and others against a perceived threat by using deadly force with impunity. That means without the threat of punishment. In a statement to the Kansas City Star, the prosecutor's office said, "We grieve with the family and community over this tragic loss of life of Mr. Santee. Missouri law governs this case, specifically self-defense and defense of others, leading us to decline charges after a careful review." Video shows Kansas City firefighter getting into a brawl moments before he was shot. On October 6, Anthony Tony Santee died when he was shot at an Independence gas station along the US 40 highway in Kansas City. The video shows the off-duty firefighter got into a scuffle with Javon Taylor inside a gas station store. Santee was reportedly trying to defend a female employee at the store after Taylor allegedly became verbally abusive with her. As per the sources, the clerk told him the store didn't have the brand of cigars that he wanted to buy. They didn't have the cigars that he wanted to buy? Fox News further reported that the clerk asked him to leave when an agitated Taylor refused and proceeded to hurl insults at the employee. Santee, who heard Taylor, intervened and asked him to vacate the premises. Now, at that point, nobody did nothing wrong. He said something, verbally abusive. She asked him to leave. The firefighter intervened, asked him to leave. Nobody did nothing wrong. Taylor then began threatening the firefighter, which sparked a heated argument that eventually moved outside the gas station, where witnesses said that the two got into a fist fight. Now, here's where things start getting a little bit out of hand, because the off-duty firefighter is a firefighter. He is not law enforcement. So any civilian can say, listen, can you leave, just out of trying to keep public a nuisance from occurring. So he wasn't wrong for asking them to leave. But now getting all extra with it, going outside and fight, now that's a little bit too much now. You ask the guy to leave, the guy want to fight, like, yo, listen, man, I ain't here to fight you, bro. I just don't want all this stuff going on. But I guess he figured he was tough about it. So he was winning the fight. All right. They got into a fist fight. Taylor's girlfriend, who was waiting inside the car, got out and tried to break up the fight, where Santee was seen restraining Taylor in a headlock. After failing to get Santee off of her boyfriend, who was visibly struggling on the ground, the women reportedly got the gun out of the vehicle and eventually shot the firefighter in the back. Santee then went into the store for help, but later died at the scene. Okay. According to Fox News reports, Taylor is reportedly facing a weapons charge from the incident. So Taylor is the guy. So according to what I'm reading, I guess it's supposedly his gun, or they're charging him with it as being his gun. The prosecutors decided that the woman's actions were congruent, which means with Missouri state's controversial Stand Your Ground law, enacted in 2016, that exempts individuals from punishment in case of self-defense. The prosecutor's office argued that after reviewing the evidence, they concluded that the woman was unaware of the incident inside the store when she shot and killed the firefighter. That's true if she wasn't there, but even if she was aware of it, what real difference does it make? Like, they're arguing, I don't know who threw the first punch. I don't know. Prosecutors even argued that evidence indicated the woman was only concerned with defending her companion when she used deadly force against the deceased firefighter. A study showed that the law has led to a significant increase in the gun homicide rate in Kansas. Oh, yeah? Well, maybe if she would have been in the store, they would have probably felt that they jumped him or something. So I guess her not being there made it a better for her. All right, now let me click on the video and explain what I saw. I'm not sure if this is the same as what I saw earlier or slightly different or what have you, but let's click and see.
Cell phone video captured some of that fight between 41-year-old Anthony Santee and 23-year-old Javon Taylor.
Well, check it.
Witnesses tell KNBC the fight may have lasted as long as 10 minutes.
Yeah, my kid's in the car. Stop. You killing him.
Javon Taylor's girlfriend pulled out a gun and ultimately killed Anthony Santee.
All right. This is what I see. The firefighter is on top of the guy. Let me see. I might be able to. This is fair use. So I might be able to switch it around. Let me see. Bam. Bam. Firefighter's on top. He clearly has God.
Between 41-year-old Anthony Santee and 23-year-old Javon
He clearly
Taylor.
has him. It's not even a fight anymore.
Witnesses tell KNBC the fight may have lasted as long as 10 minutes.
So he has he has his
Javon Taylor's
forearm
girlfriend pulled out a
basically
gun
in his neck,
and
and
ultimately
she's holding
killed
the gun,
Anthony Santee.
telling him to get off, get off, get off. She said the kids are in the car. I don't know if it's his kids, her kids, their kids, who kids, but she's telling them, get off. There's no fight left in them. So this is, all right, unlike a situation with a police officer where there's an arrest being made and, you know, you wrestle a guy down, you got to hold him down to get him cuffed, so on and so forth. This was a fight. You won. Fight's over. Now, to continue, there's no fight left in the guy. The guy's not fighting at all.
Cell phone
I hear him
video
yelling.
captured some of that fight between 41-year-old
There's,
Anthony Santee
there's
and
no
23-year-old
punches being
Javon
thrown.
Taylor.
He's saying, what are you,
Witnesses tell
unless there's
ABC
another person
the
talking,
fight
I hear a
may
man
have
saying, what are you
lasted
doing?
as long as
It
10
might be
minutes.
another person because there's somebody videoing, so he might be saying that. But clearly,
Javon Taylor's girlfriend pulled out a gun and ultimately killed Anthony Santee.
clearly, he's not fighting. He's not throwing a punch. He's not doing none of that. So what is she to do? She has a gun. He won't get off. Now, this might sound wrong. Some people it'll sound right. I applaud her for doing something. In the wake of Mr. Floyd's death, when people just stood around and watched, what's his name, George Floyd? When people just stood around and watched as they killed him or he died or whatever the case may be. And those were police. And honestly speaking, people are more afraid to intervene with police than anything. And he didn't have a firefighter's uniform on or none of that. So in her eyes, it's just a white man beating up this guy. And the female, she didn't want to use the gun. She was yelling, his gun in hand and everything, yelling. It wasn't holding the gun as if she ever shot it before in her life. She was telling the guy to get off, get off, get off, screaming. And I guess she, you know, with the George Floyd situation looming over everyone, you start thinking, when is enough enough? When can you say stop and it's not being heard and it's time to take action? She's holding a gun and then bam, that'll stop you. Like I said, I'm not trying to make light of the situation or make fun of the situation. But I do want to go into the legal aspects of it so that people will be further informed and understand that I'm speaking about Kansas City. Kansas City is in Missouri. There's two Kansas cities, one in Missouri, one in Kansas, but one in Kansas State. But I believe that this is Kansas. Yeah, it is. Kansas City is in Independence, Missouri. So I guess that might be a suburb of Kansas City. Oh, he's a Kansas City firefighter. So, you know, there was in Independence, Missouri. I don't know how far that is from Kansas City, and it really doesn't matter. Let's go into the legal experts discuss the Missouri law, because that will inform me of the law. And maybe it's similar to New York, which I do have knowledge of. Maybe it's different. Maybe it has some similarities. Fair use. Now, the legal experts are talking about Missouri law after a decision not to file charges against a woman who shot and killed an off-duty firefighter at an Independence gas station. The Jackson County prosecutor said it was self-defense and defense of others and within the law. See the cell phone video which a lot of people have their cell phones, but this actually helps because that was evidence, unrefuted evidence. Cell phone video showed the end of an argument that began October 6th inside a convenience store. One witness said the confrontation lasted about 10 minutes. Witnesses said, a witness said, 23-year-old Javon Taylor insulted a female cashier. Then 41-year-old Anthony Santee stood up for her. Police said Taylor retrieved a gun from his car. The fight ended outside. The video showed Santee on top of Taylor. That's what I saw, and that's what you saw. The woman who came with Taylor fires one shot and runs. The decision is a very hard one because obviously it's a tragic situation no matter what happens. It is. It is somebody lost their life, said Patrick McInerney. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. An attorney at Spencer Fane. McInerney is a former state and federal prosecutor. Missouri has actually had a statute providing for a self-defense claim in defense of other people since 1979, said Steve Levin, a law professor with the University of Missouri, Kansas City. The state law says a person may use physical force if she reasonably believes such force to be necessary to defend a third person from what she reasonably believes to be the imminent use of unlawful force by such other person. Now, let's stop right there. A person may use physical force if she reasonably believes such force to be necessary to defend a third person that she reasonably believes to be the imminent use of to defend a third person from what she reasonably believes to be the imminent use of unlawful force by such other person. Now, he is not a police officer, a detective, or some other law enforcement trying to subdue him for an arrest. So this force that he's using is unlawful. Like, you got into a street fight. You beat him, you won. Like, when does it stop? When does the fight stop? He has to tap out? Like, what declares the fight being over? She's saying stop. What was beating him into submission? Like, it was over. The fight was over. The question was, did she reasonably believe that he was subject to imminent risk of death or serious physical injury? Well, with a forearm to the neck on the ground, and he's kicking around a little bit. And I don't mean kicking, trying to kick the guy. He's kicking around like he doesn't know what else to do. Like, by not issuing charges, the prosecutor believes a jury would think the actions in defense of someone else were reasonable. So the investigation really focuses on what that person believed and whether that was a reasonable belief at the time, McInerney said. Now, let's think about that. I did not see the beginning of the fight. It did not show the beginning of the fight. It gave its account on what caused it. The guy didn't have the cigarettes or the cigars. They didn't have it in the store. He insulted the clerk. The firefighter stood up for the clerk. And he barked on the firefighter. Next thing you know, they're outside fighting. He's beating him. He keeps going. I guess he didn't see the gun because he wasn't focused on the gun. I don't know. Someone has said that he went out there, the guy went and got the gun. I don't know. Well, maybe he did get the gun. Maybe the guy beat it out of his hands. This is me making up different scenarios. Now, let's say, just for the sake of discussion, because they said the guy Taylor went for the gun, let's say Taylor did go for the gun. And the guy did beat it out of his hands. Now, self-defense, the girl don't know what happened. The girl don't know about nothing in the store. Guy beats it out of his hands. Now, once the weapon is out of the guy's hands, he's no longer a threat to you. Meaning, your entitlement to use deadly physical force ends. Meaning the firefighter. If Mr. Taylor had the gun and then firefighter got boom, 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 did whatever you did, gun is gone, fight is over. You got him down, fight is over. You don't have to choke him out till he's unconscious. You don't have to do none of that. Fight is over. You didn't want the fight to be over. You wanted to keep going. You wanted to impress the girl outside. Maybe she'll attend your funeral because that's over. So to stand your ground, that's a Jackson prosecutors said a woman who shot and killed Kansas City firefighter earlier this month will not be charged, saying it was self-defense. I'm just looking at other articles to see if there's anything that's adds on to something that was not said already. And okay, the court document shows Taylor pulled a gun and the two men started fighting over the weapon. A woman who arrived at the store with Taylor got out of a vehicle. Video shows her picking up the gun from Taylor. See? Dude pulled out a gun. Firefighter beats it out of him. They fighting over the weapon. Now, once it fell, dude is no longer a threat. Now, did he deserve to get his ass whooped? Yeah, he did. In my opinion, he did. The guy just told you to basically calm down, leave the store, and you threaten him and pull out a gun. Yeah, you deserve to get your ass whooped. So I'm going to keep it a buck. The way I see it, he deserved to get his ass whooped. But once you beat the gun from him, it's time to shut it down. Especially there's a gun there and you hear people around there, you know. And so, yeah, he seen the gun. I just saw it. He looked at it. I would have been like, yo, listen, hold on, lady. Boom. I don't want him to get up and pick up the gun and shoot me. So, I mean, I understand that point of view. But, wow. Now, technically, it's called the defense of justification. And your justification is you are saving the life of another person. This is a person named Kevin Jamison, author of Missouri Weapons and Self-Defense Law, said. Jamison said, in most cases, it would be important to know who started the fight, but it may not be necessary in this case. It's not because she wasn't a part of it. Prop gun frightens audience at Blue Springs Theater after nearby shooting. No. The girlfriend is only constrained by what she reasonably believed to be the circumstances if she didn't see the start of the fight. So if she didn't see the start of the fight, all she knows is her boyfriend is getting strangled. She didn't see what happened. She just see boyfriend this against his neck, and the climate is so thick with it. Our people being killed, strangled, no one's doing nothing, and a white on black it was a recipe for disaster. The affidavit states the woman pointed the gun at Santee and shot him in the back. Taylor is facing a weapons charge from the incident. We grieve with the family and community over this tragic loss of life of Mr. Santee, the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office said in a statement. So, I messed up. Back up. What did I do? I thought I was clicking. a video, but it says, "Welcome to Lenexa, Kansas." That is not what I'm looking for. Women won't be charged. Bam. Bam.
Seeking healthy non-smoking men and women ages 18 to 55 to participate in a clinical research study at our facility.
And back to the welcome. I don't know what is it that I'm clicking. It's an advertisement. Oh, and then your video will resume.
In Lenexa, Kansas. Women must be of non-childbearing potential. Volunteers must be available for one stay of 14 nights and one follow-up visit. Qualified participants may receive compensation up to $8,250 for study-related time and procedures. Call ICON today at 913-210-5900. That's 913-210-5900.
Okay, your video will resume in 1 second.
This video obtained by Fox 4 shows off-duty Kansas City firefighter Tony Santee and a man identified as Javon Taylor fighting outside an Independence gas station, and a woman standing over them shouting with a gun. It's likely one of the key pieces of evidence Jackson County Prosecutor's Office had to determine whether to file charges in Santee's subsequent shooting death. We showed the video to a practicing attorney of 40 years in self-defense who wrote Missouri's book on it.
Technically, it's called the defense of justification. And your justification is you are saving the life of another person.
Some say Santee died a hero, jumping to the defense of a female clerk facing verbal abuse from Taylor. Jameson says in most cases it would be important to know who started the fight, but it may not be necessary in this one.
The girlfriend is only constrained by what she reasonably believed to be the circumstances. And if she didn't see the start of the fight, as far as she knows, all she knows is her boyfriend is getting strangled.
At a forum on crime tonight, Jackson County Prosecutor Jean Peters Baker addressed concerns she says she hears frequently that she returns too many yellow sheets or notices she's declined to file charges.
An officer will be upset because maybe won't understand why that case was declined.
But says data shows she files charges at the same rate as Platte and Clay counties.
But if a case is declined, it's just declined because we don't believe there's sufficient evidence to get to that highest burden of proof.
Peters Baker, who declined an interview after that forum tonight, said through a statement earlier today she grieved with the family and community over the tragic loss of life, but after careful review, had to consider Missouri law.
I'm in a peculiar situation as a defense attorney agreeing with a Jackson County prosecutor.
Your Kansas City Symphony and Chorus presents 2 Brahms masterworks.
So,
Mendelssohn and Hector
there you have
Berlioz'
it.
bold and stunning Symphony Fantastique, October 28th through 30th at the Kaufman Center. Dramatic and powerful.
I don't want it to be looked upon as a race thing, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to. You have a white man, and they said he looked upon as being a hero. I don't look at him as being a hero.
ICON is seeking healthy non-smoking men and
You
women.
came to the defense of a guy who was mad that they didn't have his type of cigar, so he insulted the lady at the store, and you jumped up and got killed over her. I hope you knew her. Like, if it was his girlfriend or something like that, that would make more sense. But you being cocky and all that, sometimes you just need to mind your business. The guy was a younger guy. He beat the younger guys behind. Yeah, you spanked him. And what that got you? Like, hero, he was not a hero. His family's grieving, and I don't want to seem insensitive. But this should be a lesson to a lot, because there's a lot of lessons going on. So this should definitely be a lesson. Like, you could be off-duty, whatever. There's a reason why you're off-duty. Because you're not working anymore. You're not working. So whatever your job is, it's not time for you to do it right now. And you're off-duty firefighter. So if there was a fire in that gas station, then you can jump to action. A couple of verbal words, disrespect going on. Dude's on his way out the door. Let it be. I don't know what the gun laws are out there, but they was carrying something that was some good caliber. And because she was holding that gun like she never held a gun in her life. But that one bullet was well placed, enough to kill him. So, y'all stop beating on black people, man. This may be a spark where people start pulling out guns and actually start defending, and rightfully so. Like all these choking outs and all this, you don't know when to stop. You restraining someone, whatever the case may be, know when to stop. Know when to stop. Because with the political pressures going on, and Black Lives do matter, and this is not a slogan. It's not. I'm not making any money off of it. So stop doing it, because there will be some people that look at this and it's like, okay, well, there are some courts, some prosecutors, some lawyers that do acknowledge that there are justification laws, because there is in New York too, similar circumstances just like that, in defense of self, in defense of others, in defense of your property, whether it be your home or your place of business. So there are laws that actually will protect a person when they use deadly physical force against another person who is perceived, reasonably believed to be a threat, an imminent threat. So there you have it. I'm done with this video. Black lives does matter. All lives matter. So me saying a Black Life Matter or me being pro-black does not make me anti anything, because I'm not anti any particular group. I do not hate any whole group. I don't hate anybody, actually, individually or collectively. I'd like to see everybody do well. But in that case, I don't want to see people being stomped on, oppressed. I don't want to see that. And it doesn't matter what race, religion, creed, culture, or belief system they have. Thank you very much. This is, I was a part of this. So, halt solitary confinement and torture in New York. I was part of that. I mean, they changed the laws dealing with solitary confinement, and I was a part of that movement, went and spoke in Albany. But that's besides what I'm talking about now, but that just lets you know that I don't just talk about it, I've been a part of it. I may not have been a part of it for every waking moment, but I take some time and made some efforts and traveled to speak on things, because I've had a lot of time that I've done in solitary confinement. At any rate, you have a good night. Be safe. Like, comment, subscribe, tell other people.